So do you think we tore up stuff at my mom's house?
Hey, listen, the one that I remember about you, and that you and Greg tore everything in that house, and went and find out places to tear things. Uh,
So you
I
think my
don't,
mom had a hard time with us kids?
but you're not a kid. I can remember how ornery you were, and you were only about maybe 4 years old, the oldest. And I don't remember what you did, but you did something awful because your mother had a sewing machine in this room, and she said, "Get up there and get on that chair and sit down, and you sit there till I tell you to get off." And you got up on the chair and you sat there, and on the table had a nice lace uh, cover on it, and he sat there and he could look out the window, thinking he sat there, yeah, 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 make a noise, and your mother looked up and she says, "You better not be kicking under that table and scar it." You never said nothing, and yeah, yeah, yeah. And about, I guess, an hour, your mother went this was just from the kitchen onto the dining room. He was sitting on the dining room. She had to go in there for something. And she went and she had to go around the table. And she said, "What happened here?" I didn't know what he's talking, what he's talking about. And honest to God, it was a crocheted like this, that's under there now. And you had, was sitting there, you had gotten the end and got it the right place where they was crocheted, and you had the end of it, and you were doing this under the table. When your mother said, "What happened to this?" It was about that big on the table. It was just about that size. And boy, she jerked you out of there and gave you a spanking in the ass and said, "Get out in that garage." And you went out in that garage. And I can remember that. And she didn't know how to crochet or do anything like that. And you fall down, and you a lot more. And look out in the backyard, you and Greg. Then I guess about then you're just about 6 or 7. Both of you are just a year apart. And you and Greg are having you had one bicycle, but out there in that backyard, boy, Greg would be going when look out, and then I'd be doing something in the house. I just look up out the window and look out. Greg'd be on once on the bicycle, and the other one standing laughing, and what the hell goes on up there? So pretty soon I just stood there and watched, and here one got on the bicycle. They always changed. Got on the bicycle and he pedaling away, and the other one is laughing. It looked like, what the world is he doing? And it was Greg off, and Greg had water. I thought it was water in the can while the other one is Manny, and the other one would, yeah, yeah, holler, because he got wet. Heck, what they had, we found out. The one that got on the bicycle and was bicycling around, the one with the can with water in it, was supposed to, when he went around, take and pour the water, splash the water on the one that was on the bicycle. And pretty soon, he'd go again and do the same thing. The water only in a certain size at a certain place. And finally, uh, it was Ferdy. She said, "Boy," she went out there and she really talked. And talked to those two kids, and when she come back in, which is a big window, you could see everything in the backyard. Said, "What's the matter? What happened out there?" She said, "You won't believe it when I tell you." And she didn't use any clean words. She said, "You know, one we get in a bicycle and keeps pedaling for a certain distance, and the other one would take and splash the water, and if he splashed it all on the driver, he got, I don't know, he got something for it. I don't know who was going to give him anything." And they kept changing, one riding and one that. Well, finally, Ferdy come in or something and said, "What's wrong? What doing?" She said, "You won't believe this one, I tell you." She said, "You see the one on the bicycle and the other one standing with the thing full of water, and he only threw that water just once in a while when the bicycle got to him." She said, "Yeah, I see all that." Said, "Well, that wasn't water in that that he had on that can at all, and it wasn't what he said about the bicycle only at certain spots." So I said, "Well, what happened?" She said, "Listen, the one with the water in the can, that wasn't water that he had in that can, and then the other one was on the bicycle. I mean,
What was it?
it was." She said, "Well, I thought that's what it was," but she said, "No." She says, "The one in the bicycle was supposed to be pedaling, and the one with the water thing was supposed to splash it on, and if he hit the bicycle with the water, he'd win something. What you're going to win from a kid 4 years old or so?" And I said, "Oh, that's not so bad." She said, "But you don't know. I didn't tell you the rest of it." She says, "The water in that can wasn't water. It was piss." The Scotty had pissed in the, and so did Greg, and then Greg on the bicycle. And if he threw the like this, but held through the can and wet the driver, he'd win something from who was the driver.